You can't juggle a career, your family life, your relationship, your health, different important aspects all and juggle it perfectly. Something's got to give.
I go to therapy not because there's something wrong. I go to therapy to maintain my health.
Yeah.
So people have personal trainers. I have personal therapists.
When you're single, things are very different, and when you have kids, you have to make the adjustment. But then when you find you're happy, and then you things just sort of work out.
Hi everyone, I'm Apshi.
Hi, I'm Sarima Ibrahim.
Hi, I'm Isadora Chai.
Hi, I'm Shirena.
And welcome to the Woke Up Show. So thank you all so much for being here today. Before we start, can you please introduce yourselves, tell us what you do, all that good stuff?
Do we go by age here? Like who
Oh my
introduces
god,
who
I'm not going to
first?
ask you your age.
No shame.
Whoever wants to go first?
Go on then.
Okay, I'm Isadora Chai. I'm a chef and owner of a restaurant called Bistro Atab. I'm 43 years old and I just had a kid when I was 41.
Your baby's just 2?
Yeah, 2.5. So I'm still in the trenches.
You're still
Close to
in
me
it.
then.
Yeah.
I'm Sarima. I'm a TV host and pretty much everything, minus chef. It's the only one thing I don't like doing, which is cooking. I love eating though.
Same.
Been an entertainer for 25 years, and I have a almost 3-year-old. She'll be 3 in a couple of weeks, and I had a baby at 41 too. Yeah, so I'm 44.
Wow.
Why are we talking about our ages?
I mean,
but
it's
anyway,
okay.
we all look like we're 20 something.
Yeah, so honestly, I would believe it if you had said you were 20-something.
My name is Shirena. I am 46. I have 3 kids. I have a 13-year-old turning 14. I have an 11-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old.
Okay,
What?
wow.
Veteran.
Okay, you okay? Are you all right? Just
I'm
checking.
a dance teacher. I've been running a school for about 23 years.
Yes, and that's actually how I know. I can't even call you Shirena. I still have to call you Miss Shirena.
She calls me Miss Shirena.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because we met when I was 6 years old. She was my dance teacher.
No way. How old are you? Like 12?
I'm 26 now.
Whoa, you're the baby here. Oh, so cute.
So yeah, that's why I want to know. Like, how do I get everything the way you guys have it
Nothing
all?
will work out. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
think
joking. I'm joking.
No. I think if mothers told the truth, the actual truth, nobody would be
Wanting to be a mother.
reproducing.
This is true.
Yeah.
To an
Yeah.
extent, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're just newly mums, but you're just sitting there like Miss Shirena, all like smiley. So you're coped with it with dancing.
I'm very calm. Yeah.
I guess you've
I'm
always
very
been
calm.
around children with the dance studio for so
Yeah, I'm
many
used
years.
to having kids. I'm used to taking care of a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So how do you balance it all? All of you have careers, you have families, you have the children, you have everything going on. And I think especially women and especially mothers are supposed to be kind of master jugglers. So how do you guys balance it?
I don't know if we balance it.
I don't think I balance it.
We just
No?
cope.
I don't
every
think I have a
day.
perfect life.
Yeah.
No, from
Yeah,
the
I don't
outside
have it
looking
all.
in? You don't think so?
I don't think I have it all. I mean,
I don't think
great.
anyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I think something's got to give. You can't juggle a career, your family life, your relationship, your health, different important aspects all and juggle it perfectly. Something's got to give. But you know what? I think you have to have a laissez-faire approach to it and like just be a little bit more relaxed about it and forgive yourself for not being able to do everything. And I think that's a problem with sometimes when women talk about you can have it all.
Yeah.
That's a fucking lie. Yeah.
I love that.
I agree. I mean, it is definitely difficult to juggle. I think not at all one moment in time. Like I'm a mental health advocate and I work very closely with a lot of mothers and women who have a lot of, mental health issues, since they became mums. And I myself did. I mean, after I had my daughter, I had severe postnatal depression and anxiety. And everyone was like, that's not possible, Sarima, you're always happy. And I was like, maybe I've been coping all this while. But people would say to me, you can juggle everything. And I agree, as like Isadora said, but it is a balancing act every day though. And I think there's no book that says, okay, today you're going to do this, 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 and it's going to work out. It's like every second and every minute is a juggling sort of, am I okay now? Am I not okay now?
Yeah.
You have your ups and downs. Even in an hour, we feel up. Sometimes we feel down. So you have to ride that wave every day and it's not easy.
And don't forget the external factors that also come your way that, you cannot control at all.
Yeah.
Like sudden death,
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah.
Your child getting
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, a disabled parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone goes, oh, can you have it all? I think you can have it all maybe for a few minutes and then you lose it all, then you get it back, then you lose it. And it's kind of like a juggling thing, you know what I mean?
How do you do it, Miss Shirena?
I think I agree. You can't have it all. I think to be able to survive this long, being a mom, with the 3 kids and then having to take care of other people's children. So a personal thing is that you don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
You have to choose. You have to find your happy.
Yeah.
So like for me, you give up a lot of things. When you're single, things are very different. And when you have kids, you have to make the adjustment. But then when you find your happy and then you sort of, things just sort of work out. And
What's your happy?
And I think
What does
that's
that
what
mean,
it is.
Find your happy, like to you.
I make sure I attend so sending kids to school. I have friends who don't like doing that. I have friends who are unable to do that. And I understand that, of course, because it's so difficult to be sending, and I send 3 kids to school.
Wow.
But I do it because that's when they talk the most.
Oh.
So then I know that, okay. And then fetching, I can't because of work, but I try to because then that's when they talk about school. So that's my happy. It's just being in the car. So you're not really doing anything. It's not, it's just making sure I have that time. So
I thought her
make
happy
sure,
was going to be like, I break out into headbanging in the middle of the night. Or,
No. My real happy is that at night when everyone's asleep, I will be watching
so
something.
Sweet and normal. It's like I was waiting for it. That's how I was like, what's your happy? And she's like picking up my children. I was like,
That's lovely.
So it's just finding little pockets.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're talking about mental health, these are the things that I know that I can do for the children. So then when I'm absent, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then I don't feel guilty and I don't feel because I was there.
if you feel
So
that
it's finding
quota.
right. Finding what works as a working mom.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it all. You can't. So you find what
How long?
works
We've only
for
got
you.
2 hands, 2 legs, right? I mean, honestly, and you've got 3 kids. I don't know how you do that. You need an extra
You don't
limb,
even have enough
an extra
hands.
leg.
Yeah.
Lots of help.
Yeah.
But do you face a lot of judgment from other moms? So you know how I don't know if this is true, but like it's like working mom judge stay-at-home moms, and then stay-at-home moms judge working moms, and like within the mom community, like to be perfect. Do you feel that? Don't care.
I think, when you come to that age when you're 40, you already have your career, you have everything going, and someone comes up to you and go, hey, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I tell them, because you know what?
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. I'm the power woman in this, in my industry.
Yeah.
So don't
You don't know my life, right?
Yeah.
How can you judge me? You don't
But
know
do you
my
feel like that
past,
is present though within
I think-
the mom community, or do you think it's actually very like
I think
open?
what's present is that people always think we're okay. I think that's people always think we have it
Misconception.
together because the misconception is
Yeah.
that everything's always okay. So
Yeah.
But we're also a little bit partially to blame for that
Yes.
because we give that aura of like everything's good most of the time, we're in control, and then when we show that we're not, and we show that vulnerability in the Asian culture, vulnerability is not seen as a strength, unfortunately. It's seen as a sort of weakness. And if your mother could do it, hey, I could do it. I had 9 children. What? Your grandmother had 9 children. You only have 1. What's your problem now? So there's that kind of mentality rather than like moms judging each other. I think it's a transgenerational,
it's like more of a society
thing. But whereas overseas, they're a little bit more understanding, only because they're a bit more mature in terms of understanding mental health and hormonal changes for women. I don't think it's a deliberate, nasty sort of thing. I think moms, and then in Asia, we like to encourage each other with criticism, like, you'll be okay lah, can lah, you can do it lah. So we don't realize it's dismissing a person's
experience.
Experience.
For sure. Because I can't, I'm literally 26. I'm single. I don't have any kids, and I'm like, I can't balance my life.
You're so happy right now, right?
Yeah, you should be so happy right now.
Like this. Stay like this.
You can sleep. You can sleep till 11.
Oh yeah,
11, 3 o'clock. You can binge watch TV shows. It's amazing.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. Do you guys ever get to be alone? Like just have alone time?
Toilet time? Kind of. No, that was
Toilet
also
time.
my daughter's
No, my son also comes in.
Mommy, why are you weeing? Because I'm human.
Because I have to.
I think the only time I have alone time is at work, and even then I'm surrounded by
Well, everybody
colleagues.
else, yeah.
So yeah, but that's my version of alone time from my family. That's my escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's my happy.
That's your
That's your happy.
Because I'm so in control over there.
My kids
You
are
call
in
it your
school.
happy. I call
Yeah,
it.
Okay,
so
that's
once
true,
your
that's
kids are in
true.
school,
Then
you
you
have
get
the
more.
whole morning. So whether it's work or if you can just step out from work,
Yeah.
then so that's
Well, ours are still quite young.
yeah,
so I
because
guess
your
like,
kids are still young. So
Yeah.
once they
Yeah.
to see her smile, she's like, when they go to school, you will
School
have
is
your
great.
life back.
yes,
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that.
So it's nice when my kids are in school.
You call it your happy, I call it my sane. You know what I mean? But then you have that guilt, right? Sometimes, you know, that sort of like, is it okay to be happy to get away and be by yourself? And then you start.
Do you feel
should be
guilty
okay.
about that?
Of course.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's that feeling when they look at you, you know, that mean you're like you said earlier, Shireen, that filling that quota. I try to do the same. I know exactly what you
Yeah.
mean. Like, if I give her enough love now, once I go off to work, it's lasted 5 hours.
Yeah, it's
You know
like
what I mean? That kind
yeah.
of mental sort of quota.
Yeah. Did any of you feel like stop working when you had your children?
I did. I had
Yeah?
to heal.
Or just to
Yeah,
stop?
3
completely?
days.
Oh my god.
3 days because of cesarean and couldn't get
same.
up. Then after that,
Right back to work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't ever feel like stopping?
No.
Got choice.
No?
Good choice, man. Yeah, good choice, man.
True.
I mean, it depends on the woman, right?
Yeah.
Different circumstances. Like, of course, in my culture, you have to do pantang, right?
Mm.
But even with my pantang at home, I was still obsessed. I was like, I need to do something. You know, I can't
Yeah.
lose who I am, my being, my humanness, I am Sarima, the woman human. I
Yeah.
know I'm mummy, but I still want to be me, the human.
Yeah.
So I was very naughty. Like, I went straight back into working out and everything too early, and then was doing Zoom work and stuff. But I mean, it depends on each individual has their own partner, their own lives, and depends on the kind of man you're with. You wait and see lah. Pick a good man,
I'm trying.
who will support you in that journey.
Yeah, definitely. I would think that's
Yeah.
so important.
Very. I mean,
Yeah.
people underestimate the role of the men in our lives. But if you get a good man, he understands you and doesn't belittle your experience. Like with me with the postnatal, it was pretty horrendous. I mean, I was fine for a month. Well, I thought I was. And then I woke up one day and I was crawling on the ground, sobbing, and I couldn't breathe. I thought I was choking to death. It was
There
horrendous.
was a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it was anxiety. I
Yeah.
studied psychology. That's my background.
Oh wow.
So I knew there was something wrong with me when I couldn't, I didn't realize if it was day or night and whether or not I was going to live or not. I was like, okay, sorry, Ma, you need to get to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also important. We should talk about getting help.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think seeing someone professional, if you can afford it,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
right?
not cheap.
It's so important.
It's not cheap,
Especially,
yeah.
it's not cheap. I wish that the government made it more accessible
Yes,
to the
Yeah.
and
masses.
affordable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, we're talking more about mental health now as a society, but there's like 3 stages to it. We talk about it, we're aware of it. Okay, there's postnatal. Mothers go through certain things, but the treatment part, like you mentioned, Isadora, is missing. There's a gap because not everyone can afford 400 ringgit a time
A
to
session.
go and get a
yeah.
session. And
Yeah.
then you got to do that for a few months. Your average person who's earning an average salary can't afford that.
No
There
way,
needs to be
yeah.
a middle ground, like you're saying, where the government comes in and says, here, maybe 100 ringgit or 50 ringgit or
subsidize,
free.
yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
need to help society. How can you have a maju negara, right? Yet if the people are depressed and you've got mothers who are
Yeah.
really not feeling well, and not able to take care of their children.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, I'm fortunate, and it took me 6 months and I healed, thank God.
But 6 months is a
But
while.
6 months is a damn
to
long
be
time.
to be feeling like
and then there's
that.
guilt, right? Because I'm like, did I not give her
You
a
need to
mommy
have a
for
support
6
system
months?
as well. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So when you have
Yeah.
kids,
They say but it takes a village.
yeah, it takes a village.
It
I mean,
used
not
to,
everyone
yeah.
can have
Yeah.
mates, but then I think having a really reliable partner is very important. Family.
Yeah.
I mean, we are Asian. We live in Malaysia. The whole, the network that a lot of us have, I think we should take advantage of in
It's
use.
like an ecosystem.
I will always ask for help because you need
Yeah.
help. I
Yeah.
think.
Did you ever feel like stop teaching dance after you had your kids?
Well, I took a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a
We would
break.
have all missed you too much.
Yeah.
Aw.
But I was back, and the nature of my job allows me to bring my kids to the studio, so that was quite easy for me. I think the transition.
The transition
Maybe
was
we should
easy.
own like a play therapy or playgroup place so
Like
that we can
creche.
just put them there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. And you go cook and I'll go and entertain them and then we'll be sorted, you know? Figure it out and you can help teach them. We'll just go to you basically.
Just go over to dance steps.
Open a business next to dance steps.
Actually, the lot next to dance steps has changed a million times.
Yeah, we need a restaurant.
Because they're like, no, there's
good
too many
restaurant.
children. Oh, you? Oh, okay.
So how would you say that, what is the biggest way that having children changed you?
Gosh, you have to have a dichotomy of standards. You still have your high standards at work, but all of a sudden your standards in the house drops, and you have to forgive yourself for that. For me, like, cleanliness, I'm like super Nazi in the kitchen.
All right.
Like if something falls on the floor, like mop it up.
Yeah.
No cockroach like survives a day in the restaurant. But at home, it's like, okay lah, like food is there lah. My kid, greasy hands all over the place. I'm like, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that hard?
What to do? Survive.
Mental shift.
Yeah.
It's just a mental shift.
I think, I mean, there is a change of expectations. And if you, I always believe you can wish for something, but don't expect. Because if you expect, you let yourself down. So you can wish and hope and say, even with your partner, I wish and I hope you could do this and this. But if you say, I expect you to, the moment you set that up for yourself, I expect my child to sleep at this time, I expect my husband to still jump on me or for sex life to be the same, etc. You're setting yourself up for failure. You got to move with, that's life though, isn't it? I think a lot of us are fighting that with the new generation of sort of like, it's almost like we want to stay forever young, forever cool, forever woke, forever just
Put together.
vibing, and I think it's
like
not
just unchanged almost.
unchanged.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's the word exactly. But you do change. Like my body changed, I was like, why is my bum reaching the back of my knees? I need to get to the gym right now. And my boobs, I'm like, why is one boob bigger than the other? We need to sort this out now. So you figure out, bras and you just adjust and then I mean, it's like you said, you got to have different standards. Like when I go to work, same like you, I'm like, it's got to be this way when we shoot, but at home, I'm like, exactly. She'll be there like, mommy, jelly all over the curtains. And I'm like, what? That's her being a human child.
Yeah, that's her
we
being
were
a kid.
all there before. So don't expect, just hope.
I think change also happens if you have a child, it's good, things are going to change. You have to expect everything to change. Your world is going to change. But then the children change as well. So when they start growing, you're forever changing. So be prepared. Because it will not end, from the transition.
A whole set of different new worries, right?
Yeah, like now she's already saying, no, mommy, I will not. I will be naughty.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So
I will be naughty.
I will be naughty. I said, don't be naughty, but I will.
your struggles don't go
Who
away
are
as a
you?
mom. It will always just from one thing to another, and it's going to be like that. Your mom still worries about you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. My mom was like, it keeps
And
getting
you're
worse.
a grown,
It keeps getting
worse.
worse. She said, like now, when you're a kid, I could hold you and I could fix you, but now I have to let you be, and I can see you making mistakes, but I
Loss of control
can't do anything. Yeah.
I have more worries now because of internet and
Yeah.
online pedophiles
God.
and grooming.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
worry about, if
Like-
when do we give them mobile phones? And when do they have access to internet?
What can they watch?
This is such new things that we're learning how to use it,
Yeah.
and then you have to worry about
Different forms of
Yes.
bullying now.
Oh
Online
my God,
cyberbullying. Amongst your schoolmates.
Yeah. It's
And
different
also
for us,
the masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have that, thank God.
No, we didn't. I
Right?
mean, if you got bullied at school, you go home, you can hide from your bully. Now the bully follows you on your phone and on your,
Yeah, and everything is just, everything has a permanent footprint.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, it's quite scary. That is a big worry for
Yeah.
me. But I read something the other day. Somebody said, you can't shelter them from anything.
You
We can
can't,
educate and raise their self-esteem so high that they will not get affected from it. And you can only try. Again.
Yeah, because after a certain age, of course the kids are gonna want to have Instagram. They're gonna want to have TikTok. They're gonna want to have all of
I
that.
think it's come to a point where you can't I mean, you can say no up to a certain point, but then after that, you're going to have to allow it because that's what the world is headed towards.
Yeah.
Even with work and everything. So it's just, I guess, educating, being there, being there, being aware.
Yeah. I guess again, it's like a coping mechanism. How will your child cope later in life if she's feeling a gap and a loss in herself, like self-esteem or didn't get enough of something? They'll usually go to that. I mean, in our days, it was a go clubbing or go partying or do whatever we wanted to do, and nobody saw it, right?
Nobody
there was no
saw,
photos. So we had coping mechanisms that might have been messed up, but no one was witness to it the way they are now. So we hope to just raise the self-esteem of our children and ourselves so that they're not looking for that external validation, which is what our life's basically all about now.
That's true. But I think it's also hard, right, when they see, like, I bet you, like, you're facing it now with Alora, your daughter, like, she's 13, she's a teenager now, like.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, that must be.
I faced it.
Yeah,
really?
that must be
So
hard.
I faced it. She's been bullied. We've seen the internet thing. We have, it happens. So you just deal with it. But I was there.
You're with her and
so it's
close
just
enough that she
being
could
there.
tell
I
you.
think it's very important.
You're like, why don't you just outdance this bully? Like,
She's a great dancer, incredible
do the
dancer.
splits 10 times in front of your bully and say, I'm going to do this to your neck if you don't lay off.
It happens.
Of
It
course,
happens.
So you just have to be there, I think.
But
Yeah.
that illusion that everyone has on social media, you have that social media image, right?
Yeah.
It's so perfect and so put together.
Yeah.
I have a whole team of people handling my
Makes
social
me
media
look like
that,
me.
right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that sets some unrealistic standard for everyone. And I hope to God that one day when my son grows up and I can say, hey, okay, look, this is mommy's social media page.
Yes.
Perfect.
And this is
But you know
mommy.
the truth, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
this is the truth for everyone.
Yes, that's true. And especially if you have boys, definitely. I mean, boys are I really think the whole internet situation and social media is a disservice to men. Because they're being raised with an unrealistic expectation of what to look for in a woman. Because it's just not real. Like, you hear stories of men going like, she doesn't look like she does on Instagram when I meet her on a date. And it's like, dude, what did you expect? But it's totally different. It's a completely different playing field now to what it was. And relationships that look amazing online too.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they're divorced. You're like, huh? But yesterday only you posted that you guys are like the happiest couple in the world. So you never know, right?
Yeah, I think that's really ridiculous. People that post all these PDA and hashtag I love you, whatever, and then like
I love you, okay, love. Like, you are my life.
yeah, things like that. Love of my life, hashtag love of my life, and all that. And then like 2 years later,
Bye.
or like the wonderful, amazing 3-5 weddings or whatever that cost like $2 million, and then
Bye.
and then you don't hear about them anymore. I'm like,
Where are you?
I want to know.
Could you have
what
given me that
happened.
money? I could have done well, with that and invested for you because now you get nothing. So cynical. This is turning into a very cynical.
No, it is. I feel like it's real. We want it to be real, So how do you guys take care of your own mental health?
Oh my
What?
God.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
I go to therapy still.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
me
it's like, for me, it's normal. Like, I go to therapy not because there's something wrong. I go to therapy to maintain my health.
Yeah.
So people have personal trainers. I have personal therapists.
I was about to say that too.
Yeah, I mean, 2 PTs, same thing, invest in your health.
Yeah.
People say, I have no money to see a therapist. And I get that. For many people, they don't. I totally understand, and it's horrible. But if you can afford a personal trainer for your physicality, then why not invest in that as well for your
mental health is like a car. You need regular servicing.
To keep it on that straight, healthy path, And some people don't realize that they're not okay until they've crossed that line.
It's too late.
Yeah, they're like, they're right on the edge of the cliff and they don't realize, and they're either workaholics, exerciseaholics, or they're
Sexaholics.
whatever it
Or
is.
have some kind of relationship,
some kind of
extramarital.
holic.
Socially acceptable addictions such as, constant partying or whatever. I mean, we've all been guilty of some sort of vice, but it is a coping mechanism for an underlying thing. But it's when it starts to hurt yourself and other people, that's when you got to step back and go, maybe I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
So I take care of it through
It's refreshing to hear you guys say it like that so openly. People tend to be so quiet about it.
Psychiatrists in this country are damn rich.
Yes, and
Guess
there's
why?
not enough of them.
Lots of people see them, lah.
Yes, and there's not enough psychiatrists to the population. We're the only country that actually, we've got a very low ratio of psychiatrists to the population. So we've got an issue there because a lot of parents are like, you be doctor, you be lawyer, you don't be psycho. You know, it's like, psychiatry is a very important job. You know?
I tell you, I think, right? Yeah, I think if your kids want to study medicine, I'd probably tell them, go become a psychiatrist.
Yes.
There's a
For
huge
the
market
future,
for that.
especially.
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah.
We have like we have too many doctors and specialists now.
Yeah.
We need more psychiatrists.
What do you do for your mental health?
Cup of coffee, my girlfriends.
So simple. What is this?
I see my girlfriend.
Are your girlfriends like trained psychologists or something?
No,
like
I
that?
just
Maybe you
enjoy.
can say.
That's your way of.
She's
I
super
like-
zen.
She's so like put together.
You know what's happened? She's been through so much trauma through the weekend. Now she's just zenned out. It's like,
I think, I'm very zen.
that's wonderful.
I hope to be like
I
that in
do.
10
No,
years.
we have to have 2 more. Is it to be?
I don't like exercising, so I don't. I like doing ballet.
Yeah, I guess
So
the
I-
dance also is like.
I think dance really
release.
helps. So
Yeah.
again, it's back to, I think I just have the perfect job. I love my job. I love
Right.
teaching. So I enjoy being in the studio.
That's
so
your therapy.
Yeah.
That's my therapy. I go to the orchestra. I like
you know,
music.
Yeah.
Just art, music.
Yeah, definitely.
Painting. I like painting. Yeah.
I mean,
Now it's secretly coming out
So-
slowly. Oh, I do nothing, just coffee. Then it's orchestra. Then it's painting, and it's all the
I
wonderful
surround
things
myself
you do.
with art
Yeah.
and just
okay.
I kind of like that.
it's kind of keep your
Right.
space then. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And you
paint
can
in the
see it
morning
in your face
now,
that you're
so,
very zen,
yeah.
actually.
Mm.
Yeah, you're
Yeah. And I guess like if your artistic expression through dance, you can kind of release a lot as well.
That's
why I always-
scientifically proven, actually.
Yeah.
Endorphins and whatnot.
Yeah, because I feel like there's like healthy level of exercising for the mental health, and then like you were saying,
And there's a let's
overdoing
do
it.
20 marathons this year.
Yeah.
You know, hashtag goals, hashtag.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not goals. It's
Yeah,
unhealthy.
it's hashtag you need to see a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you're running from. You keep running from. You need to stop at some point, right?
So after you all had your babies, did you feel a pressure to bounce back? I'm not talking about your bodies, but just to who you used to be.
Madness. Yes.
Okay,
Because I
first
feel
of
like the
all,
body thing, it's like
I'm
it's ridiculous.
still, I
Yeah.
think I have not bounced back to my my pre-baby weight. Yeah, I used to
But
be a double
it
zero.
doesn't matter, you know?
Double
Yeah.
zero is what? Where were you?
Yeah, I was like,
Didn't exist.
See?
I'm not there and I'm not there again.
Yeah.
Hayo.
Yeah.
Now you look
But now,
fabulous.
fat lah. But
No,
anyway,
no,
I don't
no,
care lah.
amazing.
I really don't care because, I got other things to worry about.
Yeah.
So-
And I think it's crazy to make women feel like they need to look the way they were before they carry their whole
just not
child.
possible.
Yeah.
No, it's
You
not
know?
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, see, men, that's one thing about men and women, right? As we age, like the men can kind of stay themselves and they get the gray hair and it looks George
Without
Clooney-ish.
silver fox.
We're like, as we start to age, there's like a fight, to
Yeah.
remain, and that's a tough thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, the day after I had my C-section, I felt the pressure so bad because people were coming to visit and, and I had to get up with the pain and the C-section and I went and tried to tong my hair and tried to look the part and I nearly fainted. Yeah, because, and I said to my husband, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, you need to lie down. And my mom was like,
That's
you need to
nice,
calm
yeah.
down, Sarima, because it's just not going to happen. Anyway, you're going to have like this nice tongued hair and your
packed your
face all
tongue. I was
bulked
thinking,
up.
what do you pack in my maternity?
You see the
thought
pressure?
process,
Because I knew
yeah.
people were going to come and I was
Yeah.
like, I can't let them down.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
I actually had to wear makeup before my in-laws
That's right.
came.
Yeah.
Thank God, like, for some
crazy?
reason I had like my hair done like before I gave birth.
Your hair was done.
No, that one was just pure kismet, okay? That one was like, I actually
Serious,
had my last, I was like, okay, I need
But
to...
you've got that kind of hair that looks nice all the time. Seriously.
So like, it just so happened, I actually saw my hairstylist for the last time and I told her, look, like, give me something at last because I'm probably not going to see you in the next 3
For a
years.
year. Yeah. 3 years. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was the day before. Thank God, I
Wow,
gave birth the
glamour.
next day, so my hair was like
Glamour.
Yeah.
I love it. I love you. Okay, me, no, I had to tong, and then one side tong, the other side didn't. So penny the light side is.
Oh
No,
my
but
God.
there's
So
a-
that kind
wow.
of pressure.
There's a-
I didn't. I was just PJs.
You were just zenning.
Yeah.
No Instagram 10 years ago, honey.
PJs and stuff.
True. It was different.
I think that back then when Instagram first came out, it was different.
No, it
People
was
didn't
different.
know how to use
People
it.
are more about being silly on Instagram. Do you remember that? Like pranks and jokes and let's be silly. And then it became
and now
something
it's
else. I think after Kardashian sort of changed it,
Yeah.
after she did the oil and the bum
Yeah.
naked thing, everybody was like, I need to oil my bum.
but
I need to
also
have
like
this perfect look.
I hate the Kardashians.
No, I was
it's
just gonna say
They have a filter on their camera as they shoot. You
They
know
have
what I mean?
people
Yeah.
holding their cameras, professional people holding their cameras and knowing all the good lighting and angles.
and like and I think they also set an unattainable standard that like once they give birth 2 months later she's in a bikini shoot and you're
Plastic surgery, man.
Yeah, plastic surgeons are like
A lot of
amazing.
people do that.
like they just kind of
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that comes down to the pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was different though for our moms and our grandparents back then. It was more like survival, get it done, have your children.
survival,
And just, it wasn't the same. I mean, they still felt bengkong. Bengkong has been around forever, right? And there's always been that pressure for women, but I don't think it's been as much as it is now, only because of scrutiny now, more. 24 hours a day somehow.
Yeah.
But again, can we blame other people if it's our choice? If you don't want, you just don't go on social media.
That's
I say
true.
to myself, I can complain as much as I want, but it's still up to me, right?
yeah.
We can just get off of it and just say, screw this. I'm just going to focus on my family. It is an option. Again, then, can you have it all? Maybe not.
Yeah, exactly.
See?
Exactly. You said earlier, you can't have it all. Something's got to give. What usually do you think gives? When you gotta, what is the thing you usually?
Stomach. Someone's like, bye. No,
Is it sleep usually?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
For me,
yes.
sleep. Yeah. I
Yeah.
survive on 16 shots of espresso.
I'm a coffee person too.
Yeah.
Coffee.
I smoke.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry,
Yeah,
lah. I
but
smoke.
that's the way
Even when I like
know?
breastfeeding, I'm still smoking in the side.
That's the way you coped, right? To
Yeah.
feel something of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no judgment here. Everybody's got their way to cope, you know?
Like I remember moms giving me grief about, oh, you're smoking, you're still breastfeeding. I'm like,
This is the only way I can get
yeah,
through
man,
this.
yeah, I can't go. I'm like, I've got career, I've got to be top of my game, I've got to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the will to be a certain way, and you're like, I know I should do this, and I should, right? But I can't at the end of the day. So I'm doing the best I can, given what I have.
Yeah.
The resources I have, the knowledge I have, this is the best that I can give.
Yeah.
And I think, my mom and dad are chain smokers. Do you remember? They're all like, what? On planes, they used to smoke.
Oh,
by
yes.
the way.
Yes, I remember.
Used to
I was
sit at
there.
the back, right? And mom and dad would be like, 30 in one flight on the way to London. And I'd be like, I'm dying. I've still got bronchitis till today. And my mom's like, it's not because of me lah. And I'm like, who else? You and dad were smoking as you're pregnant, probably. I mean, probably not. Hopefully not. Were you? Mom?
Having said that, right? Okay, when I smoke, I like before I see my son, I will bathe.
No judgment.
No.
No judgment.
I mean, what can we do?
Because like my dad smoked my whole life and nobody judged him for smoking.
Yeah,
Like,
my dad too,
yeah.
my grandmother
Yeah.
too.
Again, these are coping mechanisms, stress, and people, trying to cope the best they can in their lives. You know what I mean?
And why, like, sometimes it's like, why would someone look at you and be like, you shouldn't be smoking, but if your partner was smoking, they'd be like, oh, okay,
Oh,
join
it's
you for
okay.
cigarette outside. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Again,
what's the difference?
human beings, it comes down to everybody's got their own way of life, their own baggage, their own backstory. And this is another thing. We really need to stop judging each other.
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of this sort of like, judgmental sort of looking at someone and going, oh, she shouldn't or he shouldn't this. We never know the backstory. When I was working as the patron of Miyasa, I found out a lot of stuff about families that looked perfect and people who looked a certain way and what was going on behind the scenes. The amount of suffering and the backstory of a lot of people would explain, not saying the behavior is correct if you're beating your spouse and whatnot.
Yeah, of
but you got to
course.
ask, how did the child get born innocent and end up being a spouse beater? Something happened
That's
between point A
yeah.
and point Z that distorted themselves, that they lost themselves enough to be able to do something. I don't
Yeah.
believe jail's the way. I just
I do-
believe
yeah, I don't
rehabilitation
either. Yeah.
is really necessary. That's another topic.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, so from like, when I look at like, just say even your social media, or just talking to all of you now, you all look so beautiful. You really have it together. I mean,
Makeup
having
is
this,
amazing.
having this conversation obviously is eye-opening, but like this idea, how does it feel like to even be perceived in a way of having it all? You know what?
I don't feel good about that. This
Yeah.
morning I told
Yeah.
my best friend about this interview.
Yeah.
Yes, she knows you from being my student. And she says, oh yeah, but then I look up to you. You're such a good mom and you're such this and you said. I said, yeah, but Geraldine, I was telling her. So, and that's my fault. To have put things out on my Instagram and it looks like everything is easy and it looks like, so that's difficult. I think it's that responsibility that I guess it's on me. But it was not intentional. It was just...
We want to put our best foot forward on social media, you know?
I mean, so you're saying that, okay, so I look zen and I'm okay, but of course we've had problems. I mean, a couple of years ago, my brother lost his 3-year-old daughter to cancer. Yes, so we went through all that. I'm not going to put that up on Instagram. So if anyone thinks that people don't put up the bad stuff, they hardly put up the bad stuff. And everyone just has to realize that. So
we're looking at the
very
highlights.
Important. Yes, it's very important to know that, I think, when you're looking. So it's just, again, back to children with bullying and all that, is you have to have that conversation to always talk about these things.
You know, having said, all of this, right, about Instagram, I felt so happy in the last 2 years when nothing glamorous was put up on, like, from everyone else's Instagram.
That's true. And then it also became unimportant. People were not interested.
And I think
that was trying to survive.
Everyone is normal. No one's putting up all these look
I'm here at the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God! Right?
You sort of
what's
see
our issue with that?
You see through what's really important and what people were actually really interested in. So it was nice to.
There was a lot of cooking. There's a lot of cooking. So everyone turned into her basically. I was trying to be like that. I was like, make it more pies,
Were you making sourdough rocks?
No, that one, no. I didn't jump on that.
No. Sourdough, but it's so hard that it's like rocks you can throw at people.
Everybody was making.
I thought it was a new culinary thing.
It was a baking cult that turned out, Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it was a good. That was a really great time.
It was like a holiday from social media. That you don't get that pressure from every one of your colleagues and like all the celebrities around.
Because what are you doing? Nothing. I'm just testing at home.
What are you doing? Nothing. I'm not doing anything.
And it's really funny because it was during COVID that most of the mental health issues in Malaysia came out, and unfortunately most of the suicides became more because the coping mechanisms were taken away. You couldn't go on your holidays. You couldn't go to the nightclubs. You couldn't, God forbid, if a spouse was cheating, they couldn't go and do it because you're at home, right? So there was a lot of coping mechanisms taken away. So people had to really face themselves and face their family. And then people couldn't cope with those repressed feelings. So it wasn't that COVID caused people to be depressed. You've got a community in society of people already suffering who've been using distractions and the distractions are taken away.
I think I know so many couples that broke up.
Exactly.
After
unfortunately. But then, you say to yourself, well, what have you been doing all this while to have managed and to cope, And then if you really look at their lives, you go,
they were running away.
This. And we do that. That's human nature. We try to escape pain.
So how was it for all of you during the pandemic? Like, I know for you, Ms. Shirena, you were running a dance studio all on Zoom and all of that. And then with the family at home, taking care of the kids, being with the husband, all of that. Like, how did you all manage that?
You were doing dance on Zoom. I was doing talks for mental health every day. I think I did 200 in nearly 2 years. It was crazy.
Whoa,
and then answering messages. I was basically a facilitator. People would come to me public and say, Kak Sarima or whatever, and I'm not okay. I rasa macam ni nak buat ni, and then I'll be like, okay, akak pergi sini, abang pergi sana, and then I was basically directing people to try and get help the whole time. So that was a bit.
But also, you had, not only did you have your career, but you had all these people depending on you to kind of be okay. I think women are often even though it's it's like the man of the house or whatever, but the women hold the backbone in the home. They're generally perceived to be the main person in charge of
the household.
Especially the emotional aspect.
Especially the emotional side. So it was not just you had to take care of yourself, you had the kids who were dependent on you, the husband, the job. How did you do it? I couldn't take care of myself and it was just me.
You think what? You had a choice?
No choice.
It's just I was going to say that.
was no
True,
choice.
Yeah,
You
it
just
kicks in.
you just jump in and you just do
do
what you
it.
have to do.
Yeah.
Because you have the children at home. So what are you going to do, right? You just
Yeah.
have to sort it
Yeah.
out.
I had to educate my
Yeah.
son. I had to take care of him.
Yeah.
And like social, like
Online learning.
yeah, and also like with like they say with the young kids that you need to socialize them when they're young and they were stuck at home and
Yeah, that was
All
a
of
bit
that,
weird. So a
yeah.
lot of like FaceTimes lah with Gran and
Yeah.
whoever, that was available. It's not the same though. Like after that, my daughter came out and she was screaming. She'd run from her grandparents like, no. And I was like, it's Coco Melon, Grandma. Okay. You had to try and adapt
and make
lah,
it work.
make it work.
And even like suddenly you're a school teacher trying to help them with the online schooling as well. Like,
Yeah.
how did you do it? And like when I think about
I lowered my expectations.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Lowered.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that and I told my children, I said it's okay. You don't have to, reach your targets. Especially my daughter, who was at that point ending primary and going into secondary. Yeah, so I lowered my expectations. I just gave some leeway. We don't have to do this. Let's basically managing. Yeah, but it's okay.
but it was hard.
Yeah, it was hard, but again, you just sort of push forward. But I found,
Like
it
there's
was
no
hard.
choice. I just kind of have
No
to.
choice. But I mean, I think being a working mom, you all can sort of relate as well that you get so busy.
Yeah.
So maybe the introvert in me kind of enjoyed staying home a little because I didn't have to rush out. I didn't have to.
No makeup. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? It was amazing.
Yeah.
So it was at
Have
some
bad
point,
skin
right?
day and
It
wear a
was
mask.
it was so comfortable, and then to crawl out of the MCO was a little bit hard.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, the traffic, the send here, send there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. Like for me, like I didn't have to go for photo shoots, nothing, no TV. So I could just be like, I could have like I was saying a bad skin day and nobody would know. I'd be walking around and watching everyone else like, oh, I still love that today, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm so bad. Like I don't wear the mask because I've been there, done that with COVID, but I'm wearing the mask so I can watch everyone.
Yeah, I also have a very expressive face. So the mask, I would just like never control my face. Now without it, I'm like, okay, I actually can't be like making faces and everything.
Right, okay.
But did you just, for you as well, was it just kind of just in it? Because how old is your son?
2.5. So
2.5.
he was like,
Just before the pandemic.
Just before
Same.
the
So ours
pandemic.
are like COVID toddlers.
yeah.
COVID
I had no
babies.
help.
Yeah.
No maids,
Yeah.
no drivers.
My maid ran away during COVID at 4 a.m. and decided she'd had enough and ran down the street in slippers and a t-shirt after we all had food poisoning and we were in hospital. So it was wonderful.
Oh,
Did she intentionally give you food
I
poisoning?
know. I mean, that's one of the theories so far. I mean, it's like, we'll weaken you and run, right? So, so that was wonderful.
wow.
So can you have it all again back to, every day is different. There are good days,
So
up
good days
days.
and bad days.
Like, I think I now think about like lowering my standards when it comes to my kids' education. Because, if you think about it, like university was so important to us. But you don't know what university, whether there's university is still relevant or significant in 20 years' time.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't want to give my son the pressure. I probably will still.
Yeah, you say this now.
Yeah,
We've got this
yeah.
on tape, okay?
Yeah, it's quite tricky
In
because
15 years' time.
I think
remember this.
society basically wants you to send your child to university.
Yeah.
But because again, in the arts, and I love the arts, and then I meet a lot of people who are not in their regular job, sort of like those little boxes and brackets. And if you just allow your child to find that thing that would inspire, I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, that's what I
because
find
that's
too,
happiness.
actually.
To have to fall into something that they don't want to do, I think
my
it's
goodness.
going
Then
to be.
there's
And I think you've gone through that too.
Yeah.
Really?
You had a sort of
What
like a
is this?
journey.
My story.
No, I mean, I was dancing for so many years and I always
Okay.
thought I wanted to be a dancer. And then even my parents were like, I don't know, can you make a career of being a dancer, whatever? And I have these big boobs. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Well, it depends. If you're in America, that would be a completely different
Yeah,
narrative.
but like if I wanted to
Depending on what kind of
classical
dancing.
dance, like probably not. But then when I went to university and tried to figure it out there, did something else, came back here, job after job, trying to figure it out finally, like now we're here. But I feel like with this, like even though everything lends itself to doing this, like I also would never have known. I think you can never really know.
You never know. I
Yeah.
was cleaning like vomit in a restaurant at 19, studying, doing 3 jobs, and a lady walked in and asked me to go for an audition. I was
Yeah.
doing my psych degree and I ended up like doing commercials and then it became a career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't know
You
where
just-
you're gonna land.
Yeah. But again, like, it's like what you said, you know, it was my passion and I love performing and dancing since small. My parents always encouraged, like, go on stage if you want. And then it lent itself to becoming a career somehow, you know, without knowing.
Yeah.
You know, it just
But
happened.
you need to shed the guilt though.
Yeah.
You need to shed the guilt because, you know, I know that a lot of people, like for me,
Especially
I was
Asian
guilty. I was sent
Yeah.
to, you know, I went to university. I studied biotechnology, biochemistry, marketing,
You
on
need to
like,
do
you know,
that.
that. So you feel like, oh no, my family has invested so much in me in education. I better do something with it.
How did you come to become a chef?
Ayo, that one is a long chapter lah. Another time. Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. Even for me, I have a sociology, anthropology degree.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't do dancing in uni,
Yeah.
but then you end up
Doing
which
it.
is again why, it's important to help to clear that path for your children to choose. So lower expectations, but also help them find what they're good at. It's more that. So they might not necessarily be good in what conventionally people would
Thing. It's like what resonates. It's funny because you just said that you studied sociology and you were doing biotech, but then it comes. Actually, that came useful for you with
it still
food.
does. Yeah.
And then sociology with you, and then psychology. I need it all the time to read audiences when I'm emceeing a room. And I used to do live TV. I got to feel the vibe and see people's reactions and work with producers screaming in my ear. So knowing the way people's minds work, that came in handy. So
and
somehow
live
or
TV too
another,
is-
it just sort of, you know.
I don't feel guilty so much now. Because I'm using
'Cause
some
you
of my
made it.
education.
Yeah.
But generally, do you still feel like with being working moms, is the guilt still there?
What guilt? I'm too tired to feel guilty.
Actually, I feel pride more than
Pride more than
feel pride?
guilt.
I feel pride because I mean I respect women who stay home.
Yeah.
You know, everyone makes their own decisions and everything, but I feel pride
Yeah.
that so far things are still okay. They might change, they might not. But maybe lowering expectations for myself as well. You know, I cannot do everything.
Yeah.
But I'm still able to do a couple of things.
I think you just have to be grateful at that
Moment.
Yeah.
Being
You have to be
present.
present.
It's like that moment, okay, I have it all. Okay, and then the next 5 minutes.
You really need to be present.
Our minds are always either in the front, which causes anxiety, or behind, which causes depression.
Depression.
Yeah.
So if we stay in the moment and just accept, like, okay, this isn't ideal, this may be not perfect, the certain way that it is, but it is now really, it sucks, but it is what it is. What can you do?
We're still fortunate.
Yeah,
We
I'm still
have a
alive.
house.
Still alive.
My son is still healthy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can still see, I can hear, I can touch, I can move. Some people have so much less than that, and they're still striving to see, you know. So sometimes about smacking yourself as well and just going, come out your own pity party and just get on with it, you know.
Yeah.
But in terms of guilt, I know what you mean there. Like, you know, but for me, it's only like, am I spending enough time with her? And then I say, no, it's not about quantity, it's quality, right?
yeah.
So if I'm able to sit with my daughter and be with Sophia and be present, not be on my phone or not thinking, what am I going to do next? I feel like I've given her at least half an hour of really mummy's there rather than mummy's always there, but mummy's like, I don't want to be
Halfway
here.
here.
But also, we need to also talk about, you know, are we also spending enough time and investing enough time with our spouses?
Oh my goodness, that does get neglected big time. And the children pick up on that too, the unhappiness in a marriage. So got to maintain that too. So I don't drag anymore. I used to. Now he goes voluntarily to therapy too. So myself and my husband do like once a month couple therapy. Sometimes we don't know what to talk about because we're like, but we're good. And then our therapist is like, are you really? What does that good face mean? And then we're like, I don't know. Well,
What
actually,
does
come
it
to think
mean?
about it. Why are you always saying things are good? What are you hiding? No. But I mean, it is about maintaining your marriage too. Because a lot of couples...
has that been difficult or has it been okay?
I think it's a struggle, man.
It's a struggle.
Yeah. Romance especially, and that attraction
time.
aspect, you know?
Yeah, it's like you need time with your children, and then you need time to find with just your spouse.
Yeah.
That's really difficult.
And switching on and off, like I'm mummy, and then it's like I'm mummy. You know, like, I don't know how did this mummy become, you know? And then suddenly she's a mummy, and then you're like, hang on a second, mommy's going out. Yes, you know. So it's like it's a struggle sometimes. You know, I don't know who to be sometimes. You know, but I think honestly, I just tell my husband, I'm like, I'm really struggling. I don't know how to be sexy mummy anymore. Okay, and then he'll be like, it's okay, Sarah. you're already sexy. That
Yeah,
you are mommy
yeah.
sexy. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. You know, sometimes simple communication
cute,
lends
yeah.
to honesty, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I might not look good. I might have spot cream on my face, but do you still love me or not? And
Yeah.
you'll be like,
I guess
yeah,
so.
I do. Yeah. So then, you know, but
Because you're going through it together, you're kind of going
Yeah.
through this
You
life
do,
together.
you know?
Yeah.
that's the difficulty as well.
Yeah.
And then people always have this me time thing, right?
Yeah.
For me, me time is driving in the car, coming here to shoot. Sometimes I put on like an old song that I really like. I got my Keith Sweat Twisted, my Boyz II Men, my old school R&B, and then I'm like, yeah, boys, this is my me time.
This is like backroom days or
You know,
something.
oh my god! Backroom, we gotta play Boyz II Men lah, Modestos, bass too. I mean, you know that those are my me times.
Yeah.
And I just try and find them now.
So it's a lot. It's a lot to balance.
So are you gonna still have children?
I don't know. I don't know
You'll
about
never
that.
know. I didn't know till
Yeah.
like had my child.
I always said yes. When people used to ask me, as I get older, it's more of a maybe.
It's
Because I definitely
always a
want to get
maybe.
married, but I don't know if I want to have kids. Yeah. I
think-
can see how it's magical and amazing, but also I'm like,
It's
it's a
frustrating.
lot.
and-
It's
Yeah.
seems like a
I mean,
lot.
it can be rewarding. It
I'm
is
sure
rewarding.
it probably
Very. I mean, there are moments where you
It
go
can
like,
be, definitely
it's
is, right?
amazing. No, it is amazing. I mean,
Like
I'm
when I
very
see my
fortunate.
son like smiling, I'll okay, that's my happy laugh.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's a struggle, but remember, right? Everybody brings out something that you already have. So I
Yeah.
always try to tell myself, like, not some like like hocus pocus stuff. I mean, like my daughter literally can feel when I'm not in a present
Yeah.
state. I can see it in her. She gets all tantrumy
Yeah.
and weird, and I'm like, "Ugh." Actually, I am in that state.
Yeah.
So you know, if I can manage this being here, I know that she's gonna be okay.
She's gonna be okay.
So there's a lot of like reading yourself, lah, basically. Again,
Yeah.
it's our own expectations, right?
Yeah.
I want to be here and look like this and do this on time and cook this and be like this.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, and I think also that there feels like there's a timeline. Like, you know, I'm 26, okay, if I need to get married by the time I'm 30, and then to have kids by 30,
actually,
that's not, yeah.
then that makes me feel okay, then I don't want to have kids because
good
of the
things and bad
timeline.
things about having children late. Okay, if you're late, like when you're
41.
older, yeah, you already have a career. You have you're established. You're more confident, right? You don't take shit from people,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
but the problem with that is that you might also be fortunate enough to have older parents, surviving parents,
Yeah.
who are old and might need care as well.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be prepared for that. If you're going to have your children late, you might also not be the caregiver of a child, but a
also-
parent.
Yeah. And your own health as well. It takes longer to heal.
Yeah.
And also you can be set in your ways because you're so a certain way
Yeah.
and you have a life that's like that. And then you're used to this, and then everything just changes.
Yeah.
And that shift can cause a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, because I have a young mom. My mom had me when she was 25. And then I have a friend who has an older mom. Her mom had her when she was like 46 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I can see the difference is that like my mom was still growing up while I was growing up, but her mom was
Yeah.
already grown. So there are those like
Yeah.
the pros and cons are like my mom, she's on Snapchat, she's on Instagram, all of
Really?
that. Yeah. But then her mom is like she doesn't
That's a
even
bit unnerving
understand.
because if she sees certain things, you're going to be
You
like,
know what? I tell her everything, and sometimes she's like, "Please don't tell me. I don't want to know."
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom had me at 21. On her 21st
Oh my
birthday, I popped
gosh.
out.
Wow.
Yeah, she's always like, "You ruined my 21st." And I'm like, "No, I was a gift." And she's like, "No." So quite young.
Yeah.
Back in the days, though, right?
It's
our
normal,
our grandparents and
yeah.
all, like, you know, my granny had 9 kids. So I'm like, how do you have 9 kids?
How does your
But it's-
body?
It's too expensive.
Now it's too expensive.
Now
Like
it's
you're
too
20. If you're
Yes.
26, you just came out of university. You're just
Yeah.
you've only had 3 years of
Figuring out
living.
working.
working, trying to establish yourself, and then you want to like throw yourself into
baby.
having a baby.
Mm.
You need to, and then how much you need more time to build that security for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only for your child, but for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the physicalities of it. What more the mental and emotional aspect of things? They say we don't fully grow until we're actually 24. Our brain keeps developing.
yeah.
It's not 21 or 18 as the legal age for things. It should be 24 or
Yeah.
25 because we're not finished yet.
Yeah.
Imagine having a child and you're not
Yeah,
mature
you're still
yet.
a
You're not the same
child.
person.
You're still a
When
child.
you're in your 20s and
Yeah,
then when you're in your
totally.
30s. you're
Yeah.
very
No, there's something I
Totally.
see that everybody's like that who are 30 and above, and I was like, I see something you have, and I want it. Like I still don't have that like
Ah.
like, you know, they just kind of sit in themselves a little bit more, and I'm trying to, but not yet.
It's kind of like I don't give a damn. Sort
yeah,
of.
it's
more
give
like
less of a fuck as they get older.
I'll just be me. It's not letting yourself go though. A lot of
Yeah,
people
it's
go
not
like,
that,
she's just gonna let herself go. No, it's more like, you know, I will choose how to be now. You're not going to tell me how to be me. I can be me. But you know, none of us ever lose that insecurity fully. So you always sometimes lapse into like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? But it's less than the 20s and 30s.
Okay, so I mean, you guys kind of addressed this, but last question for me is that, is there any advice, if you could look back at yourself, maybe my age or younger, what advice would you give?
Your 20s.
I'm 26, or even younger, in their 20s.
Don't get married yet, because my first marriage was at 26. I jumped into it too early.
Don't get married too early.
Yeah, I got married too early to fill a longing and a gap and a need to belong and be special, which I couldn't find in myself.
Wow.
You know, I was bullied pretty bad growing up, being mixed race, and that's another whole different story. But when you have those kind of little traumas in your life, they leave an impact of not being good enough. So I externalized. I was looking for somebody or something to fulfill it and fill it. So I would say to the younger me, just chill. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
And there is never actually there. It's always going to be. It's like life is like an upward spiral staircase. You go up slowly, but you're always meeting the same point somehow along the way. You know, it's not straight up. You know, it's like circles all the way up. So
I think take your time with finding your partner if you want to find a partner.
or let
If
them
you want
find
to find a
you.
partner.
Yeah, I didn't find my husband now, thank God for him, but we found each other and we realized we'd met each other many times over 10, 20 years and never spoke. We'd cross paths at events and
But you're
everything.
probably also different people, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the right
Time.
Yeah.
You know, it'll all
take your
fit.
time,
It'll fall into place eventually. That's what I would say.
Anything? And take your time?
Yeah.
Take your time. No rush. It feels like we need to rush, but there's
I
time.
know. We could do all this talking forever. There's so much like wisdom from all of our collectives too. But again, we all have our own tapestry, right?
Yeah.
So I can't tell you, she can't tell her, and she can't tell me how to be.
Yeah. So we can kind of have it all, kind of.
What is your all?
I guess in my perception, it's the family and the job, and I mean,
I
you
think
guys
when
look
you say
amazing.
all, everyone's all is different. Yeah.
Some people's all is to wake up every day and be able to think, have a bath, to be sane.
Some people don't even want a spouse.
Yeah.
Some people just want to have a kid without a spouse.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an all to them.
Yeah.
And some people don't want to have a spouse or children. They want to live that independent life.
Yeah.
And your all will
amazing,
always change.
Oh, I love that. Your all will always change. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I feel like this was such a refreshing conversation. It wasn't need to be like, yeah, we do have it all and it's so easy. Like, thank you for that. And for everybody watching, like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe and stay woke. Bye.
Bye.